You see the name Mayo scrawled in a leak, tucked inside a code dive, and you don't think much of it, just another condiment in the tech pantry. But then you look closer. You see what Google's actually cooking under the hood with this Nano Banana 2 flash. Yeah, banana, let that sink in. And you realize the Mayo codename isn't just flavor, it's the lubricant for a whole new kind of machine. A faster, leaner, meaner way of processing reality.
It's interesting how they choose these organic, almost playful names for things that are fundamentally quite rigid. Banana, Mayo. It feels like they're trying to soften the blow of how much power they're putting into the palm of our hands. To me, it feels like a call to simplify, to take this massive, complex architecture and condense it into something that just flows, like a breath moving through the system without resistance.
Flow is one way to put it. I call it an arms race. Look, we've been tracking the Nano Banana Pro for a while, right? It was the heavy hitter, the one that took the hits and kept on going. But the 2 Flash? The Flash isn't just a marketing tag. In the world of high-volume inference, speed is the only currency that matters. If you're a creator and you're looking at a deadline that was yesterday, you don't want a model that ponders. You want a model that acts.
But is acting without pondering really where we want to go? When I think of Flash, I think of a spark. It's momentary, it's bright, but it's also fleeting. If Google is positioning this specifically for high-volume creators, the people who are making thousands of images, thousands of pieces of content a day, are we losing the intentionality? The Mayo codename, it implies something that fills the gaps, something that makes the whole experience smoother. I wonder if the speed allows us to stay in a creative zone longer, or if it just pushes us to produce more for the sake of producing.
See, that's where the detective work comes in. You follow the money, and the money says efficiency. The source material is clear. They're aiming for image quality that rivals the top-tier models, the big boys, but at a fraction of the cost. If you're running a massive inference run, we're talking millions of tokens, thousands of generations. The NVIDIA tax is real. Google is trying to circumvent that. They're integrating this directly with Gemini. It's a closed loop. They're building a highway where they own the tolls, the pavement, and the cars.
It feels very contained, like a garden that's been perfectly pruned. When you mention the direct integration with Gemini for those massive runs, I picture a river. Usually when we use these AI models, it's like taking a bucket to the river, filling it up and carrying it back. It takes effort, it takes time. But this integration, this is like redirecting the entire river through your backyard. It's always there, it's always moving, it's effortless, but you have to be careful not to drown in it.
Well, most creators are already underwater, Paisley. That's the grit of the situation. You've got these high-volume creators who are essentially data factories. They aren't just making one beautiful painting. They're generating entire worlds, frame by frame, asset by asset. If the Nano Banana 2 Flash can give them pro quality without the pro wait time, that's not just a tool, that's an advantage. In a noir world, it's like having a silencer that doesn't reduce the muzzle velocity. You get the result, you get it clean, and you get out before anyone knows you were there.
But let's look at the nano aspect. Small, portable, close to the edge. There's something very mindful about moving the intelligence closer to the user. Instead of sending our thoughts out into the vast cold cloud, maybe this Banana 2 Flash stays local. If it's efficient enough to run on device but powerful enough to rival the giants, then we're keeping our creative energy closer to ourselves. We aren't outsourcing our intuition as much as we are amplifying it.
That's a nice thought, but let's look at the Mayo of it all again. Code Dive suggests this thing is designed for massive inference runs. You don't do massive runs on a single phone in your pocket while you're sitting in a coffee shop. You do massive runs in a server farm or a specialized workstation. This is about throughput. It's about the sheer volume of thinking the machine can do in a second. Google is looking at NVIDIA's $20 billion gambit, their hold on the hardware, and they're saying we can do more with less. They're optimizing the software so the hardware doesn't have to sweat as much. It's an efficiency play, gritty, hard-nosed optimization.
It's the balance between the mountain and the stream. NVIDIA is building the mountain, this massive, unmovable pile of compute, and Google's Banana Flash is the stream, finding the path of least resistance. I'm thinking about the person at the other end of this, not the creator as a business entity, but the human being. If I can generate a high-quality image in a Flash, does that make me more present in my work, or does it make the work less valuable to me? If the Mayo makes everything slide through the pipes so easily, do we forget the friction that used to give art its texture?
Texture is a luxury when you're trying to survive the algorithm, Paisley. The detective in me sees the pattern. Google releases the Pro for the labs, for the high-end boutiques. Then they release the Flash for the street, for the people who need to move fast. It's a tactical rollout. By integrating it with Gemini, they're ensuring that the banana ecosystem becomes the default. You don't go looking for other models if the one built into your workflow is already 10 times faster and half the price. It's about capturing the market before the market even knows it's being captured.
It's a very quiet kind of capture, isn't it? Like the way a shadow moves across a room. You don't notice it until the light is gone. But maybe the light isn't going away. Maybe this flash is a way to illuminate things we couldn't see before. Imagine a creator who has a vision for a complex, evolving narrative, a story that requires 10,000 variations. Before, they'd be limited by the cost, by the heat of their machines, by the slow tick-tock of the progress bar. Now, they can breathe. They can let the idea expand.
Or they can get lost in the noise. That's the danger of the Mayo approach. You make it too easy to spread, and suddenly everything is covered in it. If every creator is pumping out top-tier quality at flash speeds, then top-tier becomes the new baseline. The floor rises. And when the floor rises, you have to climb even higher to be seen. It's a treadmill that's picking up speed. $20 billion on NVIDIA's side, untold billions on Google's side, and the creator is caught in the middle, trying to keep their head above water.
That's why we have to find the stillness within the speed. If the Nano Banana 2 Flash is going to give us this power, we have to be the ones who decide when to use the flash and when to sit in the dark. Just because the model can run a massive inference in seconds doesn't mean our minds have to move that fast. We can use the efficiency to buy ourselves time. Time to think, time to be. The Mayo shouldn't just lubricate the machine, it should give us the space to let the machine do its work while we do ours.
Space is expensive. Google knows that. That's why they're making it efficient. They're selling us the dream of space by giving us the reality of speed. I keep going back to that code name. Why Mayo? Maybe because it's a stabilizer. It keeps things from separating. It keeps the Gemini brain and the Nano body in total sync. When you dive into the code and you see those integration hooks, you realize this isn't a standalone tool. It's a limb. It's an extension of the Google nervous system.
An extension that feels as natural as a banana in your hand. It's such a soft, curved object. Organic. Maybe that's the goal. To make the AI feel so integrated, so nano, that we stop seeing it as a tool and start seeing it as an environment. We're just living in the flash.
Or we're just another data point in the inference run. Either way, the Mayo is out of the jar now. Google's moving fast and they're not looking back. The question is, who's going to be left standing when the flash fades and we see what we've actually built?
We'll be standing right where we always are, in the center of the flow, watching the bananas grow, watching the flash flicker, just trying to find the meaning in the speed.
Meaning? Meaning is for poets. I'm just looking at the clock, and the clock says the next generation is already halfway done. The 2 Flash is just the beginning of the sprint.
Then let's make sure we're running towards something, not just away from the slow. Let the Mayo smooth the path, but let us choose the destination. Gently. Speed doesn't have to mean haste. It can just mean more time for the soul to catch up.
The soul's going to need a faster pair of shoes if it's going to keep up with this model, because Google isn't slowing down for anyone, not even for a breath.